Rolly, welcome back to the Relate Studio.
Thanks for having me, Tom.
Yeah, it's good to have you back. So, big release during the week.
Yep.
So most AI meeting tools have always focused on the transcript. Why have we now decided to look at the impact of voice?
Well, Tom, we're not like most AI note-taking tools. In fact, we're not like any other AI note-taking tools. Sandy, who comes to a meeting with you, has a very different role. Sandy's an analyst that's focused on how you show up, focused on your effectiveness. And so in that measurement, we've not just taken advantage of transcript, but audio now to increase the accuracy of our measure, which is what we're all about at Relate.
Okay, so amazing. Talk me through what Sandy's actually listening for. So when Sandy listens to a conversation now, what are the signals that matter most?
There are just some things that don't pop up on a transcript alone. And so what Sandy's listening for in terms of how you presenting yourself and how you're talking in a meeting, there are a couple of examples I can share with you that just don't show on a transcript. So it's important when you ask a question like you just did for me to pause and to think about that question, and then potentially ask clarifying questions to ensure I've got it right. And so that pause is really important for active listening, which is one of the components of the trust equation. Another example I would use is laughter. You and I get into laughter. Well, you don't see ha, 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 ha on the transcript. So no. Picking up that laughter is part of humor, which is also really important in the trust equation.
And I suppose things like passion as well, right, which is also really important for credibility. That'd be another thing that the vocal intelligence picks up, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So link this back to the trust equation then, because there's a difference between detecting someone's tone and actually measuring their trustworthiness. So how does it link back to the trust equation?
Yeah, there's a really big difference. So measuring someone's tone alone is not measuring someone's trustworthiness. In fact, across the trust equation written by Meister, Green and Galford, there is 55 sub-factors that go into the 4 factors that we know in that equation. Trust equals credibility plus reliability plus intimacy, and you can take away from that with self-orientation. So of those 55 sub-factors, audio improves the accuracy of our measure on 22 of the 55 sub-factors in that equation. So really important, again, to improve the accuracy of our measure, which again is what we're all about.
Okay. And then, so talk me through the actual experience of a user. How does the vocal intelligence show up in the coaching?
Yeah, so let's sort of establish the framework. I take Sandy, my analyst, to a meeting with me, whether that be virtual or in person. Sandy, as we've established, is there for a very different kind of role than what you would see from an AI note taker, focused on my relationship building with the people that I'm meeting with. After the meeting, I get my coaching. And coaching across each of those 4 factors that we talked about. And in that coaching, Sandy will also focus on things like you mentioned earlier, how passionate I was in credibility, how well I did at pausing in the active listening component, and then we laughed, we cracked a joke, we had a good humor. That shows up now more frequently in our coaching as well.
So is it fair to say that it's much more nuanced, the coaching that you're going to get as a result of this extra layer of analysis?
Yeah, you say nuanced, I say granular.
Right. Okay.
Well, I think we're on the same thing.
So yeah. Okay. Okay, awesome. So where does this go from here, Rolly? We started with transcripts. We've now gone into vocal intelligence at Relay. What's next on the radar?
Oh, well, I think I'll just reiterate again what's core to our business. We're about measurement, monitoring, continual coaching of relationship building in business. And so this improves our accuracy. What excites us going forward is that we can apply that method of measurement, our methodology, to other frameworks. So remember, we talk about quite frequently about how we will no longer need to do NPS and CSAT surveys and staff engagement surveys. And this method of measuring, monitoring and continual coaching has broad application beyond the trust equation as well. And so that's what is really exciting for us as a next step.
Yeah, absolutely. Rolly, thank you for joining me. big week for Relate. For those of you watching, please go to our website, relate.us. Thank you for listening, and bye for now.